Hello, today we are painting fire. So our task will be how to create the fire that really shines, that has this light, the yellow, the red lights. We're gonna create the fireplace outside in the forest. So first thing we do, we're gonna, as usually, think about composition. And we're gonna draw like the horizontal line between sky and the ground. And today I'm leaving a little bit more place for the ground. So here in the middle will be the fireplace. And on top I will have the sky, the tree is gonna be there. Cool. The fire in itself, so here we can mark the size it's gonna be. So just marking like approximately the outside part. So like this big will be. And here inside, like no pencil at all, because otherwise it's not gonna look so shiny, so white. We really need to have here clean, white, yellow, orange color and so on. Yeah, so we are, and then let's say here up, it will be going like those fire things. But again, the best it looks when it's just with the paint. But what we can do with pencil, definitely we can do the part of the trees. So I can draw here some trees that are going out of the, so typically when you make the fire, you're putting some wood parts there. And so let's say maybe something like this. Very nice. And here we can also put one bigger part of the tree that's typically you use for sitting. So of course you make a fireplace, and but this one will also help us to create the feeling of the fire, because this one will be like very black. Here I put some little branches. So this part will be black, but it will have a little bit of shiny, this feeling. So this is our today's aim, to create the feeling of light with paints. Cool. And what else we can add? We can add some trees here at the background. And let's say it can be just the part of the tree, maybe some little branches. But maybe also it could be the pine tree. Yeah. But definitely also, I mean, the best we do it actually also just straight with paints, because first we're gonna color it all with light blue, dark blue, like the transition of the sky. So I would say even don't bother at the moment. It's better we do as improvisation. It will be cleaner, yeah. So it's also something you should generally think about, like the process, how you do. Yeah, so then basically this is the sketch, very easy. And the main work, of course, will be with brush. And Cool. So the first colors we're gonna need, as usually from light to dark, white and yellow. So first we're gonna put very, very light yellow. So like lots of white, a little bit yellow in the middle of the fire. And then we're gonna go with some bit orangey outside. And then the red part's gonna be like already more, outside. So these ones can wait. So first, definitely. Yeah. So take your time. Let me know when you're ready. So the next step, just taking a pile of white, some yellow, and remember, it's always better to put like less paint. So go like 2-3 steps, putting color inside. So let's say I have my pile of white, and then I take a tiny, tiny bit of yellow. Yeah, so it still needs to be like very, very pale. Yeah, because otherwise the fire won't shine. And then we're going to be making like it's a bit more yellowishy, like the same mix here. But the first one, like the one here, so I'm just putting a bit, going a bit in step in front so you can see. So this part will be this very pale yellow. So it's practically white, just with a little bit. And this usually I can put it more, even more than I need. Yeah, because it's so pale, it can easily be covered. Yeah, and choose your brush also accordingly to the size. So maybe even smaller brush is more comfy. Yeah, and I've noticed also mixing such pale colors, sometimes it's even more difficult than mixing or using bright ones. Yeah, because it's really, because one thinks, it's like sometimes it's hard to take so little paint to mix. But later, like going to the end, we can also think maybe we can here even later draw some silhouette. Yeah. So remember, like if the source of light, usually, I don't know, it's sun, it's the light bulb, but here today we have fire. When it shines straight to our eyes, like here, so I'm the painter, the viewer. So then the objects, they generally become just all dark from this side, because the whole light is shining from the opposite. Yeah. So here, if I can sit someone, it can be a person, maybe it can be an animal, like a rabbit sitting on this fallen piece of wood, of tree, and yeah, we can think maybe something fun to do in the end. So first step was this very, very pale yellow in the middle. And the next step, I'm just adding, so the same mix, I'm adding a bit more yellow and just going already a bit around the fire. And still, let's say, I still feel I want to remove a bit of my lines I did with pencil, although it's not that, like, later I'm going to be putting, we will need to put very dark around. It's going to be dark blue mixed with black. So even if you have the pencil line there, then it's going to be, can be covered. Yeah. And here I can just already play a little bit with the shape on top. So creating my, yeah, but definitely I'm being careful. So I'm not covering the, this very light pale yellow inside. Yeah, it needs to stay. And here, let's say you can put where your fire ends. I made it a bit more bright, so actually like it ends outside of my painting. Yeah, so this is also some kind of bit compositional trick that you can use, that you have objects, but it's not finishing in the painting. It's kind of outside, but it works. Like the viewer, they will imagine. Yeah, so for now it was 2 steps, very, very pale, light yellow, and then still mixed yellow. Yeah, so still not that bright. Yeah. And then slowly we can go creating orangey and reddish colors. Yeah. And here already also advised to use a bit of the smaller brush, because it's important to, yeah, already to keep safe. So not if you have too big brush and you go with orange and kind of covers all yellow, you really need to keep this lightness. And the next step, I'm going to use orange. So again, the proportion wise, much more yellow, and the tiny bit of red I take, yeah, and I mix. And here I already have orange. Yeah? And if I mix and I feel, it's not orange enough, then it's easy. I add a bit more. And yeah, and a bit more orangey one can already go outside. But here already try playing with the shape of fire. So already a bit kind of those flames. Like from the bottom, you can start from the bottom. Usually it's a bit more dark there. Yeah, but also at the top. And what's another secret I use sometimes? So I have a brush that I'm putting those lines. But if I want, you know, the lines not to be so visible, so I just want to remove the border. So in this case, I keep next to me a brush that is clean but wet. And just with clean wet brush, I can go removing the borders. Yeah, so in case I want it more. Yeah, but this is something like, let's say it's good to play that somewhere you have the borderline and somewhere you have it blurred. Yeah, and this is what makes the painting interesting. And yeah, and remember, so, and if you put somewhere and say like, oh, too much, remember paper towel always is a good helper. Yeah, while it's wet, then it's quickly you remove. Or you just with the brush, a bit more water, you blur away some stuff. You can definitely put also this orangey to the to those wooden sticks. Yeah, just kind of even just color them orange. Later we're gonna put all the black around. Yeah, and then it will have a bit of this. Cool. And what else we can play with a bit this watery orange. What I mean watery orange. So just the color that we've just used, just take it a bit more water, so it's like a bit more puddle, and you can make a bit around. So we have a feeling the shiny grass, so that there is the light. Yeah. And here already not as much the structure of fire itself, so not the flames. It's more like spots or like, yeah, I mean, the grass in itself, it's also has these vertical shapes, but still it's, you just need to create here a feeling of, and you see here I'm using also paper towel. So this is a very good one to remove the brush strokes and make it more even the feeling. Yeah? So just, so still I have, it's pretty much you can distinguish the shape of my fireplace. Yeah, and then around is just the light. Also remember to keep fire, you know, to keep your drawing rest. Let's say you've put something, take, you know, let it dry a bit, then come back. Yeah, so kind of don't keep on fighting some places. Cool. So what else? I'm gonna play a bit here as we were talking. So these three here, I'm gonna put also this yellowish orange color around it. So then I later color it black, but then I have this part shiny. And you can definitely also already start playing with red. Yeah, because the red kind of, but of course, very carefully. Yeah, the red is more just from the bottom of the fire. And also here on some parts of the wood. And here maybe in front, like also reddish orange. So still it feels more like. So this is what I like to do for the background. Just put some watery paint and I don't really worry about the brush. And then I go with paper towel and tap it. You can use not paper towel, you can also use a cloth, you know. But of course, paper towel is more practical because, you know, it gets dirty, just throw it away. And then, And don't worry to make too much, you know, color too much light. As said, we're gonna work with really dark and really black, and we will be able to color it and everything. No? Yeah, cool. So play with your fire. Then let me know once you're ready. Then we're gonna go for another, so the second. Yeah, here I'm putting a bit more reddish in tops. Yeah. Anyway, we will be able to come back to fire, let's say, and if later it feels, I want it a bit more orangey, a bit more reddish, one can always do it. Yeah, let's see how it works once you put the dark colors around. Yeah, it's also important not to judge your painting before you have all parts. Yeah, because it always starts looking different. Let's say once you have here, we're gonna have sky, the trees, the darkness, and then maybe the file already won't look that pale as it looks now. Yeah. But if it does, then I have room where to put it more. Yeah. Cool. Ready, girls, for the sky? Okay, I'm waiting. No rush at all. Take all the time you need with fire, because that's the hero of our painting today. So definitely. Yeah, and of course one can here play like really lots of time improving. Also the important thing not to overdo. Yeah. Remember that also the less brush strokes, sometimes it looks even better than too much strokes, and then the painting looks a bit like tired. And sometimes you can feel, like when you observe the art of others, you can feel some artworks are like light and fresh, you know, easy, you have this feeling. And from some painting, you have a feeling, it was like a struggle there. The person was like over painting 3 times the same spot, and yeah, that is fine. We all learn, we all, yeah, but this is something just to think about in your own art. If in some point you feel, oh, my fire got too colorful, you can always go back by putting just white on top of it, and it also works. Yeah.
We can start with the sky now.
Cool. Thanks, Juliet, for letting me know. So I'm gonna keep all this mix I have from white, yellow, reddish, because I might need it later. So then just taking a new space on my palette. So thinking about blues, generally, let's say you have light and dark blue in your set. And today, I suggest you choose just the dark one. And we're gonna make a little transition, and we're gonna use water for this. Yes. So instead of having like two different blues, putting light and dark, it's just gonna be more complicated, because then you need to have this blending skill. And honestly, like today, the sky is not the main hero, it's just on the background. We're gonna have dark trees on top. So all we wanna do, so I'm taking just my my dark blue color. And first I'm just making it very watery. So here next to it, I just take more water. So I have like some part, and I can put here like very watery. And then just to make the transition, I'm gonna use less water to go on top. Yeah, of course, here where the fire is, you just kind of try to go carefully. But later you can also go on top. We can put a bit more when it's dry. We can put a bit more yellowishy, so just a bit more fire, so it feels, yeah. And then the more on top I go, I just use less water, and my sky becomes dark. Yeah? You can also color all your sky just with one, without transition. Yeah, like today, it's really not the skill we master. So sometimes when you paint, let's say, seascape, then of course there you need to master sky, because it takes lots of space. It's kind of one of the main heroes, together with the sea. Yeah, and then you either want to make it like really perfectly painted, so like no brush strokes and so on. Yeah, but today we do sky merely for the background. And here just at the bottom I went a bit more. Yeah. And again, and remember, if you, let's say, somewhere you overdo with blue next to the fire, you just go quickly wash your brush, and then with clean watery brush, you can kind of remove a bit like this, the border or where the fire goes. Yeah. And another secret to make, let's say, these parts more perfect is definitely going with 2 layers. So just letting one layer to dry, and then going on top. But today it's not necessary, because as I said, we're gonna have trees on top, and it's gonna cover all the, let's say, I also have some imperfections of brush. So basically it's just Cool. Now, how it looks, girls? Ready to continue? No? Okay, yeah, take your time. No rush at all.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Cool. Thanks for letting me know. So the next colors we're going to be using, I'm taking dark green, I'm taking brown, and I'm taking black. And we're going to need, so first we're going to start with green. And basically we're going to put maybe just few strokes with lighter green around, just here around where we had this light around the fire. So maybe just a little bit so it feels like a grass. Yeah. And then all the rest here is going to be with green mixed with brown or black. Yeah. Why I'm saying brown and black? Because both can work, and they work a bit differently. Yeah. So, and we can experiment actually. So let's put some green on our palette. Let's put a pile of brown. And let's put a little bit of black. So in generally, when you buy paints, you have a green color there. And it's pretty much, let's say, bright. So sometimes I want to paint not something not that bright, like bright sky, you know, or water. Sometimes I want to make it pale, let's say, like it's a cloudy day, there is not much sunlight. And in this case, brown helps me because brown makes the color more like calm. And I use it mainly for green and for blue. Yeah? But first, if you have, like, you can take a tiny brush. We're gonna do now the stripes of grass. Yeah, because we don't want to just color it all here black. We want to create also a bit of like sophisticated painting. So the trick for thin lines, of course, is thin brush. Yeah, if you don't have it, maybe you just want to skip this part and just do them. Yeah. And it's also important to have it more watery. So I'm also creating here like a little green puddle with water. So then, and I kind of move my brush all around. So all my thin brush just playing around in this puddle to have it all filled with paint. And then it's easier for me to create thin lines And what I do just here, I want to create a bit of feeling of the grass. So I still have all this yellowishy orangey part around. But just here in the place, or in the part of light, I'm just doing the straight lines. Yeah? No worries if your ones, maybe some lines get more thick, some thinner. It's also good to make them different. So just try to play around and And again, the same trick. If you put them and then you feel a bit too much lines or they are a bit too kind of thick, you have time, like you need to be quick to, you take a clean wet brush and you can just kind of blend out with water a bit, yeah? And always the paper towel also is a helper, so. Maybe also somewhere here in front. Some shorter, so I made a bit longer lines on the side, and here maybe in front I can also make. And in general, because of course the grass is here like all around, but like just to the light of the fire, then we get this game that some we see a bit more, some a bit less. Yeah, so just create those feeling of the grass around the place. And I did just around, you see, because the rest is going to be just kind of covered, very dark. Cool. And now it will be mainly the game of blackish, darkish. And that's what's gonna make already our painting finally like come together and have it all more, yeah. So easy, just to your green mix, you can start adding black. And again, remember the rule, you're adding black slowly. And already I added a tiny bit, and already all my green is gone. I have just a black pile, yeah? So now I'm adding a bit more green again. So what I want to have here, I want to have a dark green that I'm putting around, yeah, but already kind of going in. Also here I'm playing a bit with the movement of vertical grass stripes. So going in, I'm trying, yeah, it's also something, yeah. So first I went with this lighter green, I made stripes like from inside out. Now I'm making sorry, that is Sarah moving. Okay. Okay, good. Back on the spot. My construction camera was. And where I go also here in between the oh, too black. In between the tree and the fire. So we have the but I'm very careful trying not to, don't forget about this yellow light, yellow stripe with it. try to keep it. This stripe is our light. Yeah, and in general, in with painters, it's actually like light and shadow is one of the most important things you use in art. So first we did just clean green as a grass, and now we're doing green mixed with black all around. So we're already creating the darkness around to make our fire shine. Yeah, and you will see it's not, let's see, that easy how on things that start to make it dark. Like you will probably, as I am, also need to come back and do some like redarkening, you know. Here I'm also using the dry brush technique. That means I'm using the strokes the brush is leaving. So you see that sometimes we want to avoid them. When we draw a perfect sky, we don't want the lines of the brush to be visible. And sometimes the opposite. We are looking, you know, for them. So, and this is what makes like you just mastering your technique, the use of materials you have. You know?
I think I'm done.
Nice, cool. Okay, then what's left? Left the brown. So I would suggest we do, it also depends how dark is your brown. So we do a little bit of brownish here where the wood is inside the fireplace. And then we also do the trunk, but they're already with black. So I'm gonna put a bit of here where the, yeah, like my brown here is a bit more like reddish light. I don't really like it like the one I get here in the set. So you see how your brown looks like. No? And what I'm doing, I'm just adding a bit of brown here where the fire is. Yeah, you can also come back and add maybe a bit of red there. Yeah, because the bottom of this part is more like reddish, brownish, this kind of feeling. And then again, like done, you're already done with the, wow, nice, you're quick. Then let me also finish quickly. So what, here I would do the brown with black to do the trunk. Oh, too much black. Still want a bit of brown. And you see those lines I've put priorly, the yellow and orange around the trunk. Now they're gonna start shining. Now it's gonna make the sense because around is dark. Yeah? Here I'm gonna put some of these lines of the trunk a bit. Yeah, and here again, maybe back to the bit of greenish. And then we're gonna do quickly the
Pretty much done.
wow, nice. And also the trees at the background.
I didn't do those. I don't know if I want to do them. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I add it,
yeah.
my opinions explode.
If you feel no trees are needed, it's definitely also the yeah. Okay, I'll do the maybe you're right. Maybe trees are not needed. Maybe like oh, I love this the fire really feels shiny. Yeah. I'm just thinking, yeah, it looks good. I love the wood under it, the grass. Yeah, nice job, Lily. Cool. Juliet, how your fire looks like? Ah, also interesting. Yeah, good job, girl. I think you're right. No trees are needed. It's gonna be too darkish. Yeah. So this was the experience of painting fire. So the main thing you should remember, so if you are painting a candle somewhere, let's say you have a table and you have a candle, to make the candle shine, it means you just need to have more dark around. So you need to have like dark walls, no light, so then the candle feels shiny. Well, nice. This was our today's experiment. I still keep improving a bit the darkness of my grass. Well, let me take the tape out so it looks also here. Maybe it's a bit too dark. Cool. That was our fireplace experiment. The plan was also to have the trees on the background, but somehow I think the girl's right. It actually looks nice, like if you made the fire place in the more open area. It's actually also more safe. I'm gonna add a bit more dark here. And so yeah. Yeah, so remember, it shines only when it has like this connection, very light with very dark. Yeah, it calls contrast. Yeah? So the bigger contrast, the more interesting it works. Yeah, and again, so for example, now I feel maybe I want to do a bit more. Yeah, here maybe something also the fire things a bit more. This is already kind of to your personal feeling. If yeah, but you see how important it was to make a very pale white inside at the start, because otherwise it wouldn't shine. I think so. I'm gonna make maybe a bit more, a bit more confident, a bit more also black. Oh, here I did a little mistake with the, I already took off the tape, but now I'm gonna maybe try. So my trunk is going out of the painting. Right. Out of the frame. This is also interesting touch of the last moment. Just because of the little mistake, then I decided to correct it this way. Okay. Well, I was happy to see you, happy to paint. See you next time.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
girls. Thank you.